President Trump just announced he's shutting down the Kennedy Center, one of America's most prestigious cultural institutions, for 2 years, starting July 4th. He claims it's for complete rebuilding and says the financing is completed and fully in place. But critics say the real reason is Trump's takeover sparked a mass exodus of performers, plummeting ticket sales, and a backlash so severe he has no choice but to close. The Kennedy Center Honors TV viewership crashed 25%. The Washington National Opera fled after 50 years, and now Trump's putting his name on the building while shutting it down. We're breaking down what's really happening to one of Washington's most important cultural landmarks. On Sunday, Trump posted on Truth Social, "The Trump Kennedy Center will close on July 4th, 2026, in honor of the 250th anniversary of our country, whereupon we will simultaneously begin construction of the new and spectacular entertainment complex. Financing is completed and fully in place." He called the decision totally subject to board approval, a board he handpicked after firing the previous members and installing himself as chairman. Trump claimed the closure was based on input from contractors, musical experts, art institutions, and other advisors and consultants, who determined a complete 2-year shutdown would be faster and better than partial construction during performances. This important decision will take a tired, broken, and dilapidated center, one that has been in bad condition both financially and structurally for many years, and turn it into a world-class bastion of arts, music, and entertainment, Trump wrote. Kennedy Center President Rick Grenell, a close Trump ally, immediately praised the decision on X, calling it visionary leadership. But here's what Trump didn't mention: the wave of cancellations, the plummeting ticket sales, the staff exodus, and the backlash from the Kennedy family, Congress, and the arts community. Neither Trump nor Grenell have provided any evidence that the building is actually tired, broken, and dilapidated. The Kennedy Center underwent a massive $250 million expansion completed in 2019, just 7 years ago. It added the Reach, a modern pavilion with rehearsal spaces, classrooms, and outdoor areas. So what's really going on? To understand this closure, you need to understand Trump's hostile takeover of the Kennedy Center over the past year. The Kennedy Center was created by Congress in 1958 as a national cultural center, then renamed in 1964 as a living memorial to President John F. Kennedy after his assassination. It opened in 1971 and has been one of America's premier performing arts venues for over 50 years, home to the National Symphony Orchestra, National Washington Opera, major touring productions, and the annual Kennedy Center Honors. It's supposed to be nonpartisan. Previous presidents appointed bipartisan boards that operated independently. Then Trump returned to office in January 2025. His first visit to the Kennedy Center this term was March 17th, when you participated in a board meeting and toured the facilities. From the president's box, he told reporters, "We are going to make a lot of changes, including the seats, the decor, pretty much everything. Needs a lot of work." In May, during a Kennedy Center board dinner, Trump said he's fixing everything, including the Kennedy Center. "I don't know what the hell they were doing, but they spent a lot of money, and it's just not possible that they could have spent it so poorly, but we're going to turn it around. That's what I love doing." Then came the purge. Trump fired multiple bipartisan members from the Board of Trustees and replaced them with hand-picked loyalists, who immediately named him chairman. Trump accused the center of being too woke and ordered changes to programming, including removing Pride events. In December, the board voted to rename the center the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts. Workers added Trump's name to the facade, physically placing the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts. Trump made history in December as the first president to MC the Kennedy Center Honors, the institution's marquee annual event honoring lifetime achievement in the arts. The renaming drew immediate criticism. Carrie Kennedy, JFK's niece, called it an insult to her uncle's memory. Representative Joyce Beatty, a Democrat from Ohio who serves on the board as an ex officio member, sued the administration, claiming the name change violated the law because the center was established by congressional legislation. But Trump didn't stop there. Last week, he held the world premiere of Melania Trump's documentary at the Kennedy Center, turning the venue into a platform for his family's projects. Here's what happened after Trump's takeover. Performers and organizations started fleeing. The Washington National Opera announced in January it will move performances away from the Kennedy Center. This is massive. The opera company has been the Kennedy Center's resident opera company since the venue opened in 1971. Over 50 years of partnership ended. Leading performers canceled appearances. The Washington Post reported in October that ticket sales have plummeted to their lowest levels since the pandemic, tens of thousands of unsold seats last year. The Kennedy Center TV viewership crashed. After Trump hosted the December gala, viewership dropped 25% from 2024 to a record low. Staff are leaving. Kevin Couch was announced as the center's new senior vice president of artistic planning on January 16th. By January 22, less than a week later, he had resigned. The head of artistic programming abruptly quit less than 2 weeks after being named to the job. Some performers and groups have directly cited Trump's name being added to the building. Others mentioned logistical or financial pressures, code for not wanting to be associated with a Trump-branded venue. Maria Shriver, JFK's niece, posted on social media with thinly veiled sarcasm, "I've determined that due to this change in schedule, it's best for me to close this center down and rebuild a new center that will bear my name, which will surely get everybody to stop talking about the fact that everybody's canceling, right?" Social media erupted with speculation that the Kennedy Center is hemorrhaging too much money to stay open, or that Trump might even demolish the structure and build a new arts center from scratch. Trump claims financing is completed and fully in place for the 2-year closure and renovation, but he didn't say where the money is coming from. The White House did not respond to requests for comment about funding sources. The Kennedy Center's budget typically comes from a mix of federal appropriations, private donations, ticket sales, and endowment income. Federal funding for the Kennedy Center is around $25 to $30 million annually for operations and maintenance, but a 2-year complete rebuilding would cost hundreds of millions, possibly over $500 million depending on the scope. The 2019 Reach expansion cost $250 million. If Trump is talking about renovating the entire Kennedy Center complex, which includes multiple theaters, the concert hall, and opera house, the price tag could exceed that significantly. So where's the money? Trump didn't say, Grinnell didn't say, the White House won't say. Some possibilities. 1. Federal appropriation. Congress could allocate funds, but that would require bipartisan support, unlikely given the lawsuit over the name change and opposition from Kennedy family members. 2. Private donations. Trump could be soliciting wealthy donors, potentially creating conflicts of interest if donors get naming rights or special access. 3. Trump's own money. Extremely unlikely given his history. 4. It doesn't exist yet. Trump may be announcing the closure before securing funding, hoping to force Congress or donors to provide it rather than let the Kennedy Center stay closed. The fact that Trump said the decision is totally subject to board approval suggests even his hand-picked board hasn't formally voted yet. This might not be a done deal. It could be Trump forcing the board's hand by making a public announcement they now have to either approve or publicly oppose. If the Kennedy Center actually closes for 2 years starting July 4, the consequences would be enormous. For the arts, the National Symphony Orchestra would need a new venue. Touring Broadway productions would skip Washington. International performers would lose a prestigious American stage. The Kennedy Center hosts hundreds of performances annually, all gone. For Washington, the Kennedy Center is a major cultural and economic driver. It attracts tourists, employs hundreds of people, and supports surrounding businesses. A 2-year closure means lost jobs, lost tax revenue, and a diminished cultural landscape. For Kennedy's legacy, the center was created as a living memorial to JFK. Closing it and rebranding it with Trump's name fundamentally alters its purpose and meaning. It becomes less about honoring Kennedy and more about glorifying Trump. For precedent, if a sitting president can seize control of a congressionally established cultural institution, fire its board, add his name, and shut it down, what's next? The Smithsonian, the National Gallery, other federally funded arts organizations. Representative Beatty's lawsuit challenges whether Trump even has the legal authority to rename the center without congressional approval. If she wins, the entire takeover could be deemed illegal. Trump has sought to put his stamp on multiple Washington landmarks. He demolished the East Wing of the White House for a $400 million ballroom project. He's pursuing a triumphal arch near the Lincoln Memorial. He has plans for Dulles Airport. The Kennedy Center is just one piece of a broader effort to remake Washington in Trump's image.